Everybody, welcome back to the storyboard basics, and want to go back and work on a bit of the iPad here, and want to discuss a few things about what happens if you need to work on something that requires a bit of extra details and a bit of extra help with perspective, and if it needs to have a specific item that you need to work around. So I want to go into some experience that we had working on the show called The Night Agent. So with The Night Agent, we were able to work on, I believe it was episode 8, and there was a sniper and a bunch of containers. And it was a container shipyard. So when it came to that, I actually was lucky enough that working with the Adam, when it came to that, I was lucky enough to work with director Adam Arkin. Really nice guy. And I really liked working with him. He was very thoughtful. It was very giving in terms of we had a map to work with. You're going to see my Nomad page here on my iPad. We had a map to work with when it came to actually having what the shipyards look like. So when the shipyards were being reconfigured for the sequence with the sniper, I had a photograph of a map of where they wanted to have how many high each one. It was a bunch of boxes with numbers next to it. That was 3 containers high. This was 4 containers high. This was 5 containers high. So I'm like, let me take this photo, and I built that set in Nomad, so we knew exactly how to use this to help us make those sequences come out really sharp, and I'll show you some storyboards of that afterwards. So I'm just seeing if I even have that project file here from before, and it's been a couple of years, but mind you, you'll see a lot of experimentation that I have with Nomad Sculpt on the iPad. It is, I don't believe it's a lot of money. This is a great app. It's great for sculpting. It's great for perspective. It helps you with vector painting, texture painting, UV unwrapping. It's one of those multifaceted tools that is actually what made ZBrush come to the iPad. And you'll see a bunch of my work from before here, and it's obviously me experimenting and making characters and learning 3D at first this way before I moved to Blender and then Maya, and of course recently Unreal Engine. So what we could do is we can either spend our time looking at my old projects, or we can just go ahead and make one. So let's just say we got an area with a container, and we're going to go ahead and we can make a container, or we can go find a container, and we'll do that right here. We'll go and look up sketchfab.com, right? Go look up Sketchfab. There are a lot of resources out there when it comes to finding items that you can start utilizing right away, and you could start experimenting or using for reference. So we'll go storage container. I'm going to go like that right here. See what we have here. We've got some cabinets, or I'll just go shipping container. I actually spelled storage wrong. So we'll go shipping container. Here we go. Find the free ones. You only need one. And any one of these will work. And but I just want to find the one that's going to be a free download. So we'll go downloadable. And you create a free account. It's part of Fab. And it's a great resource for everyone here, okay? And again, when it comes to getting something like this, I just want something like, let's look at this. Can I download this? Download model. Now, FBX, perfect. I want to download an FBX. I'm going to save this to our downloads folder, right? And there it is. It's in our downloads folder, shipping container. There it is. Find it here and just unzip it. Unzipped, here we go. Got it. So what we're going to do is in our, here, I'm going to change this background to be a bit brighter, about halfway. Keep it solid, keep the grid, and here we go. You got a bit of a grid. Don't know if you can see that well here, but you know, we got our grid here. We got our, if you don't know the layouts of Nomad Sculpt here, you know, I'm going to just record this page. So, okay, we got Nomad Sculpt, we got our grid, we've got the front, back, right? Let's get my pen here, Apple Pen out like this. And what's really funny is, let me, like that. Okay, can you see that okay? See that? We got a bit of the lines here. Let's see if we can change the settings on our lines. Gesture, bindings, this is all of our settings. When you play with this, you get to play with it and figure things out a lot better. Transparent panel, yeah, that's a lot better there. I think I can see it better. Don't forget to edit. Okay, so here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our area. We got a bit of a grid showing. We've got this. We need a map that's going to go ahead and work with us later. We want to be able to just make a really plain, simple primitives, but we can use something like things from Sketchfab to our advantage, okay? Just make this big as we can. Go to the top. This here makes it go all the way. This little broken up bracket. Then we've got the house, and that goes right to the front. We got front, top, back. Work on the top areas. Validate that, and then you can just resize the way you want like this. Just like this. So that's our workable plane. Do not ask me exactly what the dimensions is of this. I am not entirely sure. The measurement system here is not accurate like it would be on Blender. So also, if you're going to be working on an iPad for storyboards or planning or whatever, working on a Nomad Sculpt is faster and easier to translate or transfer images over to your Procreate page, to your app, and then that way you'll be able to start using things. So we're going to go here, tap on this one of the menu items. If you guys wanted a great tutorial when it comes to Nomad Sculpt and working with it and transferring these items and all of these projects off to another program, I would look up Glenn Southern or Southern FX, and he's a great online school on YouTube. I'm a huge fan. I've learned a lot through them. And for sculpting, Eric 3D is another guy. I'll put links to their pages in the comments of wherever you're watching this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, watch those videos and learn Nomad Sculpt. Go here to import. We're going to go to import and go to where it was download, shipping container, source. Shipping container, it says still a zip, but if we go open, it's gonna add to scene. Here we go, shipping container. We've got the shipping container. Now, this looks like it's far more accurate to the scale. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, and I want to change the thing here. This is dark matte material capturing. I'm just gonna go white on this because it seems like this shipping container, as you can see, has textures. So when you download an FBX with baked in textures, you get the advantage of this here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this floor and we're going to make it like this. And I'm going to show you what we can do to create the illusion of these 3D models becoming hand-drawn items in your storyboard or art panels. Either you use them as the final product or you use them as a reference and you just trace lines and give it your own style after. So you can use it for multiple things here, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna double, let's just say that we tap the clone and move it up like this, okay? And just shift it like that. I'll just slightly shift it off, right? And what we have here is when we tap up here, those three marks there, we've got root, cargo container, and it's been cloned twice. What we're going to do is we tap on the main root. So that's like a grouping. And what we're going to do is compress that down. I'm going to go clone again, and I'm going to just drag it off. See, just like that simple. So what we want to do is we want to have a shipping area that's going to be like rows of these guys, right? So what we're going to do is the great thing is with Nomad Sculpt, they've had all of these things that have really helped us. That post-processing that we'll be using and transfer over to Procreate to finish our panel, comic panel, artwork, whatever you need it for. We're going to grab the root and grab this. Press add right here. And when you have all of these, we have other primitives we can add in, even a base mesh for a human, a triplanar, or what we can do is we can add arrays. So let's add a group first. So this is a group. Now that we've tapped on this, we compressed it down. All 14 containers are here, right there, right here. And what I'm going to do is for this plane, I'm going to give it a simple color. On this menu up here, we've got different kinds of materials, colors, gray, and then I'm going to go ahead and just bring the metal roughness, and then you have this paint or paint all triplanar. Just paint, just like that, okay? Really easy. This way we'll be able to separate these things. And I'm just going to put this right there. Now, what about to make things easier for me is I'm going to make the background a bit darker. That way we can see a bit more of the lines here. See? Once the background is darker, and I can go ahead and grab that, tap it, I've selected only the one. If I want to grab all of them, I'm going to grab the group and highlight that. All 4 are now collected. So if I move this over here to the end, about that much over, and I'm going to go here, add array. And this helps me getting a shot down faster. We're going to go count by the X. That's high. That's height. Y is height. Z is, we're going to go count by the Z. We're going to go 2. See what happens there. 2. Go like that. Nope. Nope, that's not what I wanted. We want to go count 2. We want to go let's just go 3. And the size, the spacing, 3. This is 10. Like that. So let's move this whole group over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the count is 2, 1, 2. Let's just go 4. And size, again, if this was 21, this should be 22. And we're going to go like this. Keyboards will show up 22, like that. Oh, look at this. Not enough. Because the height is different than the length. We're going to increase it till we see some gaps and spaces between all of them. And this is pretty much what we wanted. Now, it's not going to look exactly like how a shipping container yard actually looks like, but that's okay. I'm going to go 4, and we're going to fake it here. We're just going to go like this here. And now we're going to go height. We're going to go 4 or 2. Let's just go 2 and increase the height here. See, it's just, I found this easier to work with because of the fact that we're using our hands, making it more tangible this way. And by touch, I feel like I was able to learn Nomad Sculpt a heck of a lot better than I learned Blender or Maya or Unreal Engine. So what we'll do here is we're going to go ahead. I like how this looks right now. And I'm going to go ahead and take something from the group here. And I'm going to expand this. And I'm going to go root 1. I'm going to go clone just the one, this guy, and I'm going to bring him up this way. So this is the only one I think we should be able to have plane. No, it's connected to the plane. So I want this to be separate. No, okay. Didn't work out. We're going to try it again. That's why there's editing. We're going to import, we're going to go ahead and import another one. We're going to add another container and go back to our cargo container here. It remembers where it was. Import it. Just go add to scene. Here we go. See, it's already touching the floor like this. And what we're going to do is right about there. And we're going to go top. And I'm going to go that way. And then home brings it all the way back. But it goes to the front. So I want to go top. So this guy here. And then I'm going to snap. This is my snap. So it only goes at a 90-degree angle right there. Okay. And it seems like that the pivot point is not in the center. It's off. And I want my pivot point where I can twist it accurately to the center. So I'm just going to click center. I'm going to go normal. I'm going to line. I'm going to go center like this. And then I'm going to go bottom. Just find the center of it this way. Just like top. And I want to make sure I'm in orthographic view, not perspective. Perspective, is what we're trying to work with here. But orthographic is where you want to get your exact details here, okay? Right here, I'm going to try and get as center as I can, right here. And then I'm going to go, that's on the top of it. If it's the traditional way, and I'm sure a lot of other 3D artists who can tell you, you want your stuff at the bottom. You don't want it in the center, you want it more at the bottom. Then that way you'll know exactly where it is. Tap on pivot and snap, we're good there. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this there. And I'm going to add another array to this guy. It's going to go like this. And I'm just going to go one. This is for the length or having one parallel. I just want it one. And this is, that's height. Z is how many more in front. So a little trick, it took me a while to figure out. The arrow pointing out is the front of that model. So we want to go, have our array go that way. So we're going to go 2, I'm going to go 3 as well. And I'm just going to stretch it out a bit more that way. There we go. Just like this. And then I'll think about maybe 2 and higher and higher. And then we're going to go like this, about a little bit more, and then we'll go 3, a little bit higher. If I go 3, 4, I can go 3. Just like this, maybe we can go 4. 4. Make it a bit higher. That's how that works. Good. Cool. Now, let's take this grouping, this array, and what we're going to do is we're going to clone it, and then I'm going to put it right on the top and move this. This array should be moving over all of it, actually. I'm going to take this and will it move? Nope. Okay. That didn't work. So, oh, it only cloned the array, but not the whole group. So what we're going to do is we're going to go join, and that becomes 1. So this is what happens. I have to remind myself. So when you go ahead and you create an array, and then you clone, if you clone just the array, it's only going to clone the information that it needs objects to multiply. What we want to do is just create this set, this virtual set for us to create our action sequences. This is just me loosely recreating what we had to do for the night agent. So now that we took that information, all of this information, and we've squashed it down, what we're going to do is grab it. It's called cargo container 3. Grab that. I'm going to clone, and now that information is all together. All 3 rows, 4 stacks high, and I'm going to go home and just move it over. Just move it over. There you go. Just like this, okay? That's it. We have our set. Now let's add a camera. Here we go. I want to add a camera that's going to establish this scene about right here. But you know what? I think we need more. And I know it's kind of weird. He's like, why do you need more? I think because we need more, because we want to fill the scene out. So again, we're going to grab the array, all of this, the roots of the shipping container, 4 high, 5 long, whatever it is. Grab it from the top, join. Now I'm going to move that over, and I'm going to then clone. You have many options to have clone. And I'm going to do it again. Clone and move it over. Because we're never really going to, let's just say we're never going to really see anything past these edges. But just because of my ADHD and my OCD, I'm going to go ahead and add those things in there. So now that we've got this here, we've got all of these, what I like to do is I just kind of grab all of this, add, group, done, we're in a group. This is what we wanted. Now we have a group. Now we need lighting. If you need lighting, we go here and we take off matte cap and we go to lit. So we're going to change the background. You can find HDRIs on something like Polyhaven and Fab and other places, Sketchfab. They're all over the place and you can get them for free. So we're going to grab this here and we're going to increase the exposure. We're going to go change the rotation this way. You can even go 3 fingers and drag and move the lighting around, okay? What we want to do is we want to go ahead and maybe just go matte cap it. Maybe if we just go find some of these material captures. Now, the funny thing is that we have baked in textures for all of these containers, right? A thing we could do to basically change all of that is grabbing all of these guys, adding, we can go like this, add a layer, add a layer. It's like a layer in Photoshop. And what we'll do is it will take it back to lit. You can't do this in material capture. We can only do this in lit. When you have an object that's got baked in textures, okay, meaning it's been created and then they've made the model, they've made the textures to give it that real life look to it, and they baked it in. So you can't, if you remove it, you're done. You have to do it all over again. We're just going to add a layer on top. We're going to go back here and we're going to find the paint. And here, I'm just going to go ahead and just find a paint. Just find a basic color of the paint here. Got paint. There it is, the paintbrush. I'm just going to go a bit brighter, and I'm going to get rid of the roughness, maybe some metalness, and I'm going to go paint. Oh, that didn't do it. I just want to go paint all. Same thing here. Add a layer, paint all. Add a layer. This way is what we call non-destructive. We don't want to ruin anything. If we want it off, we take it off. Here we go. It's just a layer on top, right? Just to kind of help us here. And what we want to do now is we want to add maybe some lights. We can go ahead and change the exposure to be a bit darker, a bit brighter, right? If you can see that okay. Like this. We'll go a bit darker like this. And now I want to add maybe some moonlight here. So let's add a light. And here we can change this here and change the type of light it is. So we can go show. There's the little menu that pops up. Sun, environment, spot, or point. Add some point lights. Look at that. I mean, Nomad Sculpt is amazing to work with. And it's been such a help for me. And if I want some dramatic lighting, I'm gonna practice with Nomad. I mean, Nomad's a great thing to help you establish a mood and an atmosphere for any of your artwork. What we can also do is just maybe change it from a point to a spot. What I love is this. Look at that. Go ahead and change the spotlight, change the intensity like this, change the color like this. Give it more of that moonlight. Moonlight's always got that nice blue. They always give a cool white blue for a moonlight sequence. If you notice that, all of these shows like to tend to do that. So we have that little icon. Again, if you want to know more about sculpting in Nomad, you got to go to Glenn Southern and Eric 3D for sculpting, and also for just using the array of tools. I just want to show you how you can use this tool to go ahead and help plan a shot. If you make this set once, you can reuse it again and again. Okay, that's the idea. Make it once really well and then reuse it again and again and again. Make the light wider, tighter, the fall off, the brightness, where it's fuzzier on the edges versus how tight it is, because it would be something like this. I think we'd have to go up higher, you know, and then this way, I think we'd have a bit more like that. We have a bit more, you know, if we change this to a point light and brought the light down, or even change it to some directional lights, which is basically your sun, and then this, once you move your three fingers across, see, you got your shadows. You got your light. You got some natural shadows coming in. And if you want to go right ahead, look at this, and you want to get that perspective. I mean, look at that. It is crazy. It is cray. And I think what I need to do, because I made this so much wider, I'm going to have to go like this and add an array here. And I'm just going to, you know, I can even just clone it. Usually what we're doing is procedural here. And if you were to add each one individually, you're going to eat up all of your memory and you're not going to have any room left to do anything. But when you add arrays, what you're doing is you're making it multiply twice versus having it's like projecting that image of that model multiple times versus having that same model in the polygons. It'll be so high you won't have anything left on your virtual memory in order to get anything done here. So I'm just going to grab all of this like this. Just not select the lights, and I just want to start working. And then now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add some cameras. So we're going to go, there's an icon here, camera. Now we're going to have perspective. I want to change our field of view. So this is a wide angle lens is what you want to get when you have these crazy lines like this, right? And you have like everything in focus. And that's 12, it goes 12 millimeters. And as soon as you drag back, it goes further and further back. So if we go to, usually you tend to go 52 is our eyeball. 52 millimeters is our eyeball, right? But if we really want to get real sense, we want to go wider. We want to go to 27, 28. 27 is fine. And I think what we can do is we can go right ahead and maybe play with some of the lighting like this. And, you know, they're a bit top light, but what I want to do is I maybe want to go ahead, add one more spotlight. I'm going to go ahead, add light, tapping on that little sun icon, add light. Here it is. And I'm going to change this from sun to spot. And I'm going to go right here and find a spot right over here, like that. Find this spot, and I'm going to go ahead and put this right, yeah, about that. And you know what? If I move this around, did I lose my light? No, it's right there. Here we go. See, if I move it around, you're going to see that that lighting is following it. But I want to increase it a little bit. We're going to have maybe have it act as like if this is the main source of light, like the end of the day, this is going to be like possibly a different kind of light. So we want to just really play with the light here. Like this. See, we can make the spotlight bigger, wider. And if I go lower, see how low this is here? What if it's one of those work lights and like this? And it's supposed to illuminate the workspace just a little bit. You know, I mean, usually work lights work from above. And we can go right ahead like that. And we can go like this and just make it so it looks like we got a bit of a work light there. You know, just like this. And maybe I want to just copy this. I can just go ahead and clone. You can have up to about 4 lights here. And I'm just going to open this up and make it a bit. Let's move this back there. Yeah, I'm going to be like a Bob Ross. I'm going to put a happy little light. Just want to put a happy little light here. You know, all you need to do is just find what makes you happy. You know, it's an accident. You know, just kind of exploring. And that's literally what we're doing. We're just exploring here using the different tools and the different items that we can use on our iPad. Just to find a way to tell a story. There's a story here. It's not about being able to draw. It's about being able to tell a story. That's why we're storyboard artists. If we were not hired for our skills in storytelling, we'd just be draw boards artists. You just draw. You don't tell the story. Don't show a character in a manner of, you know, a moment of contemplation or anything. Just like tell the story the best way you can. Let's just say that there's a highlighted right there. And I want to put my camera right about, and this is what I like, right about, move it around like this. If I kind of angle a bit more, that's the light on that edge. Oh, that looks kind of cool. So here we go. We've got this nice, cool little angle right about there. Now, what if I want to make this look more comic-like? And this is where we go to our post-process. Right here, looks like a camera iris, post-process. Tap on that, brings up this other menu. They give you some preset items now. You can go for comics right here. And as you can see, it just darkens everything up. You can go to noir, and it gives it this old school with film grain quality. You know, and I absolutely love using this for when things, oh, see, I'm using the 3 fingers to move and rotate the environment around, and I like how that looks, but I don't know if I want that much darkness. So I think the idea here is what I want to do is go back to none. What I want to do is go uh, ambient occlusion, depth of field maybe. I want to get tone mapping and get it to aces. Once we get aces, aces is what they use traditionally now for everything in animation. It's what made the Lego movie look like pieces of Lego versus computer animated pieces of Lego. Depth of field gives you focus blurs, and honestly, sometimes I think it's better to not have that on because then you can play with the blurring and Procreate the way you like. Curvature, right about there, is what I want. What I want is I want both black, and I want them all like this. Chromatic aberration, you got your vignette, you got grain, I got sharpness, and what I try to do is I try and get everything as about as sharp as possible, right? Now, if these containers were white, it would be a completely different story altogether, right? And we got a low angle shot. If I were to have a low angle shot of a character coming down, I would want to go like this. And our frame size, like we discussed in the last video, 16:9. It's television. So it's the Night Agent 16:9, maybe 188. So I want to go here and I want to click down towards export and go past the models, transparent background, and I can go custom right there. Maybe, there you go, 1080. You got 1080 already set. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you that cutoff point right there. So I'm going to have this, maybe play with the lighting a bit more, like this. There we go. I'm going to go, oh, I can hear my kid playing upstairs. Export PNG. That's our shot. Now I'm going to take this, press the little arrow going up. Now I'm going to open up a whole new page in Procreate. Some doodles I was making earlier. And what I'll do is I'm going to go over here and open up my storyboard template. Let's just say we're going to use this template right here. It's going to be for this show. Here we go. This is traditionally the one I like to use to discuss animation. We'll do that another day. We already got our template and frames like I discussed before, and I'm just going to grab these, group it like this, and I'm going to lock it so I don't destroy that layer or anything there. Layer on top, use the tool, the wrench icon, to grab actions, paste. Allow paste, and we've got the image. Here it is. Now it's in color. They don't want it in color. What do we do to kind of make it black and white? And to be honest with you, we want it black and white. We want to work with this the way we want. So I'm just going to transform it and make it fit our frame the way I want it, the way I need it to. Just go to distort. I just want to fix it a little like this. And what I want to do is sometimes if I want a really wide lens, I'll go to warp. I'll go like this. So I can give it that fisheye lens. And you know what? I kind of like that better. I kind of like the fisheye lens look because it makes it look so much bigger than it actually is. This environment's a much larger environment. So now what I'm going to do is grab this, go around here to color, balance, hue, saturation. We're going to go hue, saturation, drop the saturation, up the brightness. Oh, my kid's loving the upstairs. I don't know if you can hear this over the microphone, but she's loving it. Whatever she's rolling. I hope it's not my stuff. Play with the curves so you can brighten and darken anything here. And what we have here now is a far more accurate tool for us to work. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and use this in here, you can. No one's going to say no to you. But if you wanted to use it as your reference, you make another layer, get your pen, and just start putting in your guidelines. Oops, too big. Start putting in your guidelines right here. Thinner lines for the distance, thicker lines up close, right? So we've created this more for our reference, if anything. And remember, it's curved, so we want to follow that curve line. Like that. Just like this. And then we can go right ahead and let's start planning our chase shot like we did for the night agent. And this is how we're going to storyboard any action sequence with any tool or item. If you found a car model, you have issues drawing cars, until you can practice and practice and practice. But if you need to get a specific car on set and you tell your client, I can't draw cars, you think you're going to get another job? It's not going to happen. So when they say, we're going to have him drive this kind of car and he's going to drive a car around here, I go, and I always ask, is there a specific car he will be driving on set? And chances are they're going to say, we don't know yet, probably just put a 4-door sedan. And then they'll ask you to change it later. Or, like with the night agent, they were very specific with the kind of car that they did get to use on set. And that was a Dodge, actually. It was a Dodge Charger. So they drove a bunch of Dodge Chargers. So I'm like, okay, I know they need Dodge Chargers. So I'm like, I don't know how to draw a Dodge Charger. So I went ahead and I found myself a model of a Dodge Charger, which really, really helped me deliver exactly what we planned with the angles involved. Got my lines, take a look, tear it up. There we go. Really, this is all we want. You have your models, you have it set. We want an angle like this. What do we do afterwards? We go back and we change our angle to include something else here. And we want to get a taller, wider angle section right here. I will go add view. And here's a great thing to do. You can go add view, add the view. You know what? I'm going to go add view right there. Change the lighting a bit, just like this. Say it is at night, you want it to look like this, add view. When you go back to camera, we've got a couple of cameras right there already. When you go add view, it adds that camera. And then I want to go ahead and I want to change a top down. And maybe if we go ahead and have it more like this, and I change my lens, how cool is this going to be? If we make it a bit wider, getting all of those guys, and we get that warping, right? A bit more like this. We're going to go maybe on top of it like this. And we have a bit more of this here. We're going to go add view. And then I'm going to go like this. Move it there. And then I'm going to go add view. What's really great is you can go right ahead and go, what was my view before? Here to here. So panel 1, here. Throw that into Procreate, draw your lines down. Panel 2, here. Character is going from left of frame to right of frame. Camera is panning from here, pan right to there. Say if it's going to crane up to show exactly how big this area is. Let's just increase our background lighting. Let's just do that. Like this. Like that. And then we have add view. That's how you add it. Export PNGs, throw in Procreate. That's it for today. Thank you guys for joining us. Put some questions in the comments. We'll get back to you guys and see if we can attack the next question you have about how to storyboard and using your iPad for multiple ways. Take it easy.